Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Getting started a little bit early. Gives some time for some people to come out. Totally understand if there's not a lot of people who come out. It's 11:30 on that East Coast, that horrible, horrible coast. But I didn't feel like doing a normal one. So I've had a long day and I thought it would be fun to end with a little chat. So I'm going to link this real quick. If you're in here, hello. And also, if you don't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, I sure would appreciate it. Sending out the link now. We are live now. Come talk Mariners with me. I need you in my life. Control V. Post. Oh, tweet. It's not post. It's tweet. All right. Wait a little bit longer before we get started with the whole spiel. Make sure I have my box score ready to go. Got the questions ready to roll. There's no questions yet. That's okay. That's okay. All right, let's get started. Mariners win 7-0. They improved to 77 and 73 on the year, and they take 3 of 4 against the Texas Rangers. Let's go over the scoring plays. First inning, Mitch Garver homers to center to score Justin Turner and Randy Rosarina. It's 3-0. Sixth inning, Victor Robles singles to score Luis Urias. Makes it 4-0. Seventh inning, Randy Rosarina just clobbers a homer. Makes it 5-0. Julio Rodriguez in the eighth hits a sacrifice fly to center. That makes it 6-0. And then Justin Turner also hits a sacrifice fly. 7-0. Mariners win. Had to have it. Had to have this series win. I mean, just had to have it. What's up, Dylan? Thank you so much. Trevor, thank you so much. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I don't think we're going to have a huge audience. I also don't think I'm going to go super long because I have been working non-stop since 9 a.m. Non-stop. Nobody cares because my job's easy, but I'm tired. I'm tired. Okay, the negatives from this game have nothing to do with the Mariners. They didn't get any help today. Twins win, Tigers win, Astros win. Not great. Not great. Dylan, answer your question real quick. Not really. Not really, but I'm not getting any worse. Going to go into, I was supposed to go in to the doctor on Saturday and I couldn't, but yeah, Friday, excuse me. I lost track of days already, but yeah. The only other negative that I wanted to say was I hope Victor Robles is okay. It's weird that there's nothing that's been come out. Did anybody um see anything about Robles? My buddy Matthew Poliot, the absolute best fantasy sports cover in the entire world, couldn't find anything either. Hope he's okay. They cannot afford to lose him. Nick, I find myself murmuring "Go Padres" to myself. Yes. We are big San Diego fans right now, aren't we? Mariners need the help. Need the help. Real quick, not real quick. I like talking about these guys. I'm going to ask everybody to go to Simply Seattle. I'm going to ask everyone to use code MollyWAP15. They are the best. They've got so much good stuff. I just got this really cool hat from them, which I think is going to be great for my Seahawk recaps. I love this design. And that takes 15% off your order. And it works for every sport. So please check out please check out simplyseattle.com and use code MollyWAP15 at checkout. MOLLYWHOP15. Yes. So, Trevor, I think you got to keep wearing the City Connects. I'm, not the most superstitious person in the entire world. Maybe there's just like something in the fabric that they feel more comfortable. Because, being comfortable is important. And I'm comfortable anytime I'm wearing something from Simply Seattle. I'm sorry, I had to do it. You got to keep it going. Got to quote my good friend Adam Yauch, you got to keep it going full steam. Too sweet to be sour, too nice to be mean. Dylan, yes. Go Guardians, Royals, Padres. They are our friends right now. We are friends with those teams. They are friendly. They are good guys. Please help. We have to give a ton of credit to the Cincinnati Reds, by the way, because they have really helped Mariners stay in this thing. They take 2 of 3 from the Twins. They took 2 of 3. In fact, they maybe swept the Astros not that long ago. Thanks, Cincinnati. Thank you, Ty France. You can take the France out of the Mariners, but you can't take the Mariners out of the France. All right, positives from this game. George Kirby shoved. And no, he didn't dominate with swing and miss stuff, but his command was so good today. We talk a lot about how good his control is. Command was good today. And he took advantage of a very, very, very aggressive Houston lineup. They got a little more patient as the game went on. And in fact, if they wouldn't have been so patient, I think you're looking at Kirby maybe with a Maddox in this one. But they started to get a little more assertive, I guess you would say. Still, 7 innings, 1 hit, just the 3 strikeouts. Who cares? The results were fantastic. Fantastic. I thought they swept him. Trent Thornton did a nice job. Eduardo Bizardo. He's just a fun name to say. He's not a very good pitcher, but he got the job done today. Got the job done today for sure. Flying into Omaha Tuesday to visit Grandpa and Aunt, and driving into Lincoln Friday for the Nebraska-Illinois game. I hope to God there are no thunderstorm and that game gets played. Yeah, that would stink, man. I hope everything goes well, and I hope you have a great trip. Offensively, so we talked about Robles leaving, and I still have no information on that. I hope he's okay. They need him so bad. Another terrific game. Cannot say enough good things. And I can't even do a victory lap with him, but you feel like I feel like I was right, at least in that it was a good signing. And a lot of people disagreed, even though it was cheap. Didn't expect him to be this good. Couldn't have. But fantastic. So I hope he's okay. Julio doesn't get any hits, but I love that he drove that ball with 2 strikes and he was able to, still make an impact on the game. The game was decided, but Justin Turner gets a hit and a run. Randy Arozarena is starting to swing the bat a heck of a lot better. And boy, oh boy, do they need it. Not just for this year. I want to see it to feel confident in him in 2024. Just need to see some confidence in him. My son, JP Crawford, with a couple of hits. Mitch Haniger with a hit and a run scored. Demo gets a hit. And, of course, Mitch Garver. I just root so hard for him. Every at-bat, I am just borderline praying that he gets a hit. Because I hate what has happened to him this year. Hate it. Truly, truly hate it. But today was a nice day. Today was a nice day. What's up, Henry? Any chance the Mariners spend the money to get Santander this offseason? I think so. I don't know so, but I think so. I've gotten a lot of reports about the budget not being way higher. I think that there's going to be a big addition. I think it'll be in free agency too. Whether it's Santander, it's not going to be Juan Soto. I'd love to see it. But Santander is that next tier. And I think the Seattle Mariners might be interested in something like that. They should be. They need somebody like Santander really badly. I talked about it last night that, that 1 through 5 that they put out. And by the way, nice to see some runs scored with Big Dumper getting the day off. They need 1 more bat. They probably need 2 more bats. Saw a rumor that the expectation is Bellinger will opt out. Yep. I would be very surprised if he didn't. I'd be interested. A lot of risk there. In a way, I could see it going terribly. But you got to take risks. This offense isn't good enough to not take risks. Is there a chance we sneak in? 2.5 back in the wild card is doable. Yeah, there's a real chance. But you got to play pretty close to perfect baseball. Got to play pretty close to perfect baseball. I was going over this with Grandma. I covered Chiefs, Bengals for NBC today. Weird game, but fun. It's fun to cover base football. So I did that, and then I recorded the Seahawks recap, and I so appreciate everyone who's checked those out so far. Sorry, Brian, by the way. See you in here, and I know you were rooting for the other team, but yeah. But I did that, and then I had to record a podcast, and then I went over to Grandma's, and we were talking about the odds. I think the Mariners have to go 9-3 over these next 12. 10-2 is probably more likely. But 9-3, I think, might get it done. Mainly because I think Minnesota's in trouble. I don't think they're playing at their best right now. They're not playing at their best right now, in fact. So if they can go 9-3, I think they got a shot. The Bellinger 220, 319, 402 slash is going to hit like crack. Oh, I can so see it. Got to take a chance. And heck, 220, 319, 402 would probably be their third best hitter. So, yeah, let's not talk about the Apple Cup, Brian. Why would you make me? No, I get it. It's a bad weekend. Bad weekend for you, my friend, but you're going to get a really cool Edgar Martinez autographed gold card coming out your way Monday. I'm probably way out in left field. By the way, thanks, Justin. I really appreciate it. I'll answer your question, by the way, on AJ in just a sec, too. I'm probably way out in left field on this one, but what are your thoughts on trading Castillo and possibly Haniger for Machado? I don't think they would have any interest in that. Number one, Manny Machado is an extremely popular player for them, but I get that idea of trading Castillo for like a big contract bat. But yeah, I think in a couple years you could see that. But yeah, I think that they just Machado's their all-time leader in home runs now. He's really popular there, and he's a good influence in their eyes on Fernando Tatis Jr. So, but I get that idea. It's not going to be that player, but I get that idea, and I don't hate it. I would prefer to move Kirby, if I'm just being honest. I get that he's cheaper, but I just believe in Luis Castillo stuff a lot. Do I think the refs were biased towards the Chiefs today? That was not a foul at the end, in my opinion. I thought it was pass interference. I also wouldn't have had any problem whatsoever with them not calling it. Not even a little bit. He got there early. I see plays like that, especially in high leverage situations, overruled or not called in a lot. But the Chiefs get calls. There's no question about it. They've earned it because they are a dynasty. But it does happen. Was at the game Saturday. Super fun game and love the Funko Pop. Nice. Love to hear it. So I just wanted to look kind of here at the schedules going forward, right? So the Mariners, we have got the Yankees, the Rangers again, the Astros, and the Athletics. All right. So got to take 2 of 3 from the Yankees. Got to take 2 of 3. If you win, here's the thing. All of your series left now are 3-game sets. You got to get a sweep in one of them. Oakland seems like the most likely, right? Even though Oakland is playing a lot better. But I kind of feel like it still has to be that series against the Astros that has to be the sweep. Not just for the division. That's obvious. But for everybody. Twins haven't been very good and have a tough remaining schedule. Yeah. Guardians times 4, Red Sox times 3, Marlins times 3, and Baltimore. And they don't look good. I like our chances of taking 2 of 3 from Yankees. I do too because of the pitching matchups. They face Heel, Cortez, and Schmidt. And we have Wu, Miller, and Hancock on the mound. I don't know what you're getting from Hancock, to be fair. I thought his start was okay. That's a tough little matchup for a guy like Hancock. But you should be able to take 2 or 3 there. And then you've got Gilbert, Kirby, Wu against Texas, against DeGrom, Scherzer, Heaney. I can't say I was too impressed by what I saw from Scherzer. I was really impressed what I saw from DeGrom. That's going to be tough. His first home start of the year. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I think Cherry will go all in this offseason as sort of a last-ditch effort to make it deeper into the playoffs. I think if he fails to meet that goal again, he's gone, and the next GM will do another rebuild, reshuffle. Entirely possible. And a few people, in fact, I think it was Zach who you brought this up, compared Dipoto to Goodell because he is that shield. He protects that ownership group. He keeps them in that 80 to 85 win group. Every once in a while you go a little higher, but he keeps them in that group. And really, let's say 84 to 88 wins, right? That's what he wants. He'd prefer more, but he's not preferring more because to spend money. But it's never going to make Mariner fans super angry. We are the hardcore Mariner fans, but we are not real. It's just like how Twitter's not real life. This is not real life. We are hardcore Mariner fans. We do not represent the public. The public is interested in seeing a viable product. It's still a viable product. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect because he never has to go and outspend everybody. He is so protected. But maybe, just maybe, John Stanton has higher expectations than I think. Doesn't seem like it. Off our collective soapbox, we probably need to do a Gillick-style F them kids type deal this offseason. I 100% agree. I'm not saying you go out and you just make it for the sake of making it, but if there are guys out there, and I'm talking about the dudes, that you can move prospects for, you have to do it. Have to. You have enough depth in your system that you can do that. This is a really good farm system. You can make one of those moves. Doesn't have to be for a pending free agent. Doesn't have to be for a guy who has a bad injury history. Doesn't have to be for a guy who's had a questionable checkered past. There are guys out there. Nobody is untouchable. Go get Vlad Jr. Go get him. Do what you got to do because you will not destroy your farm system. You will move a lot, but you will not destroy your farm system. Go get one of those guys. He did look disgusting, Nick. And it was, honestly, the thing about this Rangers series was I love Jacob deGrom and I love Kumar Rocker. So while I wish they would have hit better against those guys, it was kind of fun to watch them shove. It was kind of fun to watch him shove. Should we expect to see Leiter again in Texas paired with one of the starters like Saturday? Interesting dude. Definitely not a 10 ERA guy, even if that is the number. Yeah, I would have guessed so. I was impressed with Leiter. The spin he generated on some of those fastballs. Whew. And look, the Rangers, this is the other reason why you got to go get a guy. The Rangers will not have the same injury bad luck that they had this year. And they're such a talented team. Such a talented team. You got to stay ahead of them. Got to stay ahead of them. But yeah, I would guess that Leiter pairs with one of them because they're not going to go super deep. It's pointless now. They're completely out of this. Real quick, guys, if you haven't hit like, if you're new and you haven't subscribed, I super appreciate it. The likes really help. It's, it helps the algorithms and stuff like that. Really appreciate it. But they're my toys. No one else plays with my toys. Yeah. I mean, to his credit, indeed, He has built a heck of a farm system, and it's worth pointing out that he started with dog turds. Maybe the worst farm system in baseball when he took over. He's built something pretty darn good, and there's some building blocks. Can he be the guy who takes them over the edge? I don't know. I don't know. What would have to change to make Mariner ownership want to spend money and put their best foot forward to field a World Series contender? Probably a new ownership group. At the very least, if you're not talking about a new ownership group, you got to get more Chris Larsons. You've got to go get some dudes who really help Stanton. Because here's the thing, and I'm not a financial expert. Let me make that very clear. I think my bank account right now has $37 in it, right around there. Not sure why I shared that with you guys, but I know this. There are different kinds of billionaires. There are the liquid billionaires, and there are the hypothetical billionaires. The guys whose billions is based more on hypothetical stock. John Stanton is not a liquid billionaire. John Stanton is a very, very rich man who will never be hurting, but he doesn't have the same kind of liquid assets as some of these other guys do. You got to get someone with some liquid assets. You got to have somebody who's got that straight cash, homie. Until you do, your payroll is going to be middling. If Jeff Bezos would be awesome to see. That would be awesome to see. Are the Seahawks going to struggle stopping the run this year? Had a tough time today. I don't think so. I think that the Patriots took advantage of some matchup stuff, but I think they're going to be okay. Number one, I think Byron Murphy is going to be much better as we go forward. He started to make progress. The linebackers are going to play better. I think one of the reasons that they struggled with the run today was that they had to pay so much attention to Hunter Henry that kind of drew away some of the support. But when Julian Love started covering the tight end, and boy, did he ever cover Hunter Henry towards the end of that game, things got a lot better. I think they'll be okay stopping the run. I definitely think they'll be okay stopping the pass. I think this will be a top 10 defense this year. Maybe that's a little aggressive, but you think he has the low? He might. I've never looked that up, but it wouldn't shock me. Anders, I love you. Thank you for coming out. He looked like him today. That's the best I've seen Geno play. And that's not because I've seen Geno suck. I mean, but Geno made elite throws today. Made elite decision making. The ball was out so freaking quick. He looked great. He looked fantastic. If he plays like that, the Seattle Mariners are not the team I'm talking about. The Seattle Seahawks are going to win the NFC West. The Seattle Mariners are going to win the AFC West. The Supersonics are going to win the Norris Trophy. I can't talk. It's been a long day. I wish we'd go back to the AFC West, Justin. Now, Anders, who was born, I think, after maybe the Seahawks made the switch, pretty close, doesn't know what it was like. Oh, yeah, this has to be the logo going forward, man. Sometimes it feels like it, Anders. No. No. This has to be the logo going forward. It's just so much better. By the way, this hat is available at Simply Seattle, and if you use code MOLLYWANT15, you can save 15% off. Also, this sweet sweatshirt, Kingdom, nostalgia about a bad thing. We're all about it, baby. Yeah. Why not? Geno did hit a walk-off homer today, and Anders and I talked quite a bit in our group text chat. By the way, Anders is awesome. He's one of the best producers in sports radio right now. He is awesome. He deserves your follow on Twitter. He can drop the link if he wants. He's the best. But we often talk about how much this team misses Eugenio Suarez. What's up, Bert? You saw Pele play in the Kingdom? I have to ask about that. What was that like? What was that like? No, Anders, you're at least above average. You're at least above average. Justin, it's unfathomably bad. I still go with, in terms of process and a little bit results, it's been up and down. The Kelnick trade is still my least favorite, but the Suarez trade is absolute crap. Absolute crap. You got a third string catcher and a pitcher they absolutely refused to call up. Didn't appreciate it at the time. I can understand that. Was he playing in like the Northwest Soccer League or something like that, or just like an exhibition type thing? I'm fascinated. I'd love to see a legend. I hope someday I get to see Messi play in Seattle. Do I think we move on from my son this offseason? No. No. I think they may move him to a different position. New York Cosmos versus Sounders. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, that's so sick. I don't think they move on. I think that they are kind of stuck. And it's not the worst thing. But I hope he's there. Shortstop would be the position I'd be looking to upgrade maybe as much as anybody. Because JP Crawford's now dealt with some injuries, and this is just not good enough offensively. Now, if you get a really good defensive second baseman to pair with him, because I don't think it's Polanco, first event in the Kingdom. That's awesome. Man, I'm jealous. Sorry, I'm just so distracted by Pele, man. If you get a really good second baseman to pair with him, it's not the worst thing, but he can't be your leadoff hitter. No, next year, Victor Robles is your leadoff hitter. Absolutely, he is your leadoff hitter. Henry, that's what I would like to do too. And I think JP Crawford plays fine at second base. Julio leadoff is also something I'm interested in too, Anders. There's just something about him in that leadoff spot. I'm going to do a big, long video on why that is the case. But there's just something about it. You know, Henry, that's an interesting, I get kind of a mixed reaction when I ask people about how much chemistry means to Dipoto. Because for a while it meant nothing. And then when the Graveman thing happened, I think it started to mean a little more. And then it waned again. But the reason JP Crawford is your starting shortstop and hit leadoff for so long is a lot to do with vibes. People love that dude. People love that dude. Robert, I totally get it. Bats 9 and plays second base. I think that's fair. And it's not like his contract's an albatross. You know, he makes good money. He can afford to go Oscar style at El Gaucho. Oh, how good does El Gaucho sound right now? If any of you can get El Gaucho to sponsor the show, I will give you any sports card that I have. Literally. If one of you can get El Gaucho to sponsor my OY and get me a gift certificate every once in a while, any card you want. Anders, work hard. By the way, Anders, I just hit a Messi De Maria jersey card. It's sick. It's so sick. I'll show it to you the next time we record. It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. I was so happy I hit it. Yeah, you'll see it. It's not game used, but it's just a jersey, but it looks dope. It looks really dope. But yeah, JP Crawford's just not been good enough this year, and for most of 2022 and 2021. It's just not good. Oh, that's right, Anders. Yeah. But we got to keep it a secret that we don't record Molly Watt Monday live. Ian's not watching. Oh, it's not like anybody thinks that. I love you, Chris. I want you to be healthy. Eat healthy, please, and exercise. I'm trying. I'm trying. Thank you, my friend. Yeah. So here's the thing. What's up, Bill? Thank you so much. Oh, been moving all day. That's a tough one. Hope everything went well with it. The move is tough. So the shortstop thing is the question. Okay, there's one obvious answer. It's Willie Adames, right? Wouldn't Willie Adames look fantastic in a Seattle Mariner uniform? I think so. There was some talk that Adames could have been acquired via trade. I think if Adames was truly available, he would have been moved. Because look at all the moves that the Brewers made in on top of what they did, right? He's definitely available. He's going to be a free agent. I think Willie Adames is somebody you got to go get. If you could go get, and maybe I'm giving away stuff right now, you go get Willie Adames and Anthony Santander, and somebody's light on top of that. I think you're talking about being as good as anybody in the American League. I wanted him this last offseason, but I think Adames is a key to fall off. Career year and a contract year. What's he going to do going forward? I don't believe in the contract year thing. I get why people do. I think he's just a really good player. Now, I'm not signing him to a 10-year deal, but I think he'll give you 4 or 5 years of solid offensive production and good enough defense. That's all I'm asking for. And if you get the 2024 version, where you get, I think he's at 33 homers and 110 RBI, and RBI obviously based on Milwaukee having a much better lineup than the Seattle Mariners. By the way, real quick, why are we not talking about Jackson Chourio more? That guy is a stud. He's 20. He's 20, and since June 1st, he has the same amount of balls at 100 miles per hour put in play as Aaron frickin' Judge. What are the possibilities to deal with Haniger and Garver? You're probably attaching prospects if you're moving those guys. I would say slim. I think it's probably more likely. Now, this is not based on any information that I have. Garver comes back and is a left-handed DH type, and you hope that he rebounds and is a semblance of the player he was in 2023. My guess is you might buy out Mitch Garver. Something where he's getting that money prorated because he doesn't make sense on the roster. He can't be. He can't be on the roster. Just can't be. I'd rather focus on keeping Randy and not trading one of the starting 5. We saw how much of a drop-off Hancock is. That totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. I'm somewhere in between. But yeah, to answer that question, Bill, you can probably move Garver, but you're attaching a prospect. If you're trading Haniger, you probably have to attach too good of a prospect. I think you just buy him out. A couple of people asking about the City Connects. Yeah, why not? Look, maybe it is a confidence booster for him. Maybe it is something that, they just feel better in them. And that matters in baseball. Maybe more than any other sport. The comfort, the routine. That's just something that you have to keep in mind. And is it the reason that they're winning those games? Probably not. But it's a large enough sample. Boy, you just snoring like crazy, Molly. Look good, feel good, play good. Yeah. Yeah. Xavier Edwards from Miami intrigues me as an under-the-radar shortstop acquisition. High contact and speed skills. Wouldn't have to give up one of the pitchers. True. I think based on how I've heard stuff, Miami likes Edwards quite a bit. You probably have to overpay for him, like in terms of what you're getting compared to what you're given. I don't hate it, though. I don't hate it. I would absolutely explore something like that. Maybe prospect type deal where, if they're comfortable with somebody else at short, you can do something like that. But yeah, so Adames makes sense as a potential shortstop upgrade. Who else? Let me look at the standings real quick. And while I do that, if everybody would hit like on the stream, I sure would appreciate that. Let's see. Gleyber Torres is no longer a shortstop. You can't do that. Jose Caballero? Probably not. Bo Bichette. I'd be into exploring it. Really into exploring it. Mariners need to bring back the 80s and 90s unis like the Seahawks to get some vibes going. Stupid jerseys rules won't allow it, but it'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Ditch the navy blues and go with those. 100%. How much value does our second tier group of pitchers have in a trade? Guys like Hancock, Evans, Garcia. Not unsubstantial. Not unsubstantial. Hancock definitely was of interest to some teams at the deadline. Evans, more interest before these scuffles, but somebody that would have some value. Garcia is really intriguing to a lot of people, mostly because some people I've talked about, and those of you who have been Maiwa enthusiasts have heard this, they think that guy could be lights out in the bullpen. Like one of those type of guys. Josh Hader's too strong a comp, but you kind of see it a little bit. Like not as hard throwing, but certainly can get the fastball up there and a nasty slider. So that would be an intriguing one for sure. They have some value, definitely. It was really cool to see Julio translate for Randy. Can't believe that doofus Kevin Mather said his English wasn't good. I just hope Kevin Mather watched that interview and just had the worst diarrhea. Just had to run back and forth. Just the worst person. You know what's funny is Mollywop Monday started because of Kevin Mather. Because after he put out those absolutely insane comments, KJR reached out to me and asked if I would come on. And I said no, actually, at first, because I had just so much work to do for NBC. And Kevin Shockey, Anders, do you remember Kevin? Kevin Shockey didn't beg me, but he said, man, it'd be really great if you could come on. It'd be really great if you could come on and talk about those comments. And thank God I did, because it's led to a lot of really cool stuff. Getting to host the shows, getting to do this every week. It's been really cool. So Kevin Mather, you absolute, very rarely swear on this thing, piece of shit. Thank you. Thank you for being just an awful human being. No, I understand. He was a little before your time, I understand. He was that bald guy that kept annoying Softy. So he tells me a person like Kevin Mather watched that and thought it validated his statement. Oh, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. As long as he got the diarrhea, I don't care how he feels about it. Like, I just want that guy pooping like crazy. Not the fun. Oh, I was just looking here at other players who could make sense at shortstop. It's kind of slim pickings. Ha-Seong Kim, if the Padres were, interested in moving that type of contract, Ha-Seong Kim would make a lot of sense. Probably have to give up pretty good prospect capital. But you definitely have to upgrade there. Third base is somewhere you have to upgrade. I don't know what else other than third. Well, I mean, second base, of course. Yeah, Justin, if only. If only. It was a nice, clean win, Paul. It was nice to see just a really nice play. Thanks so much for coming out. We have had a decent little run of trades with Mr. Preller. It's just a nice little piece. Yeah, yeah. I would love Josh Rojas to be a utility guy. Ooh, Anders. Okay, let me catch up here real quick. I hate to be that guy, but if we don't make it, who are we rooting for in the postseason? So I've got a list. Here's the order of the list that it's in. If the Mariners don't make it, the first team I'll be rooting for is my favorite baseball team as a kid, and I've talked about this before, was the Minnesota Twins. I will be rooting for the Minnesota Twins. After that, we'll just go in the American League. It would be Kansas City, then probably Baltimore, then New York, then Cleveland. I don't know why I've always had a problem with Cleveland. Then the sweet release of death, then the Astros. Curious to know what Jerry will do to extend the streak of team presidents putting their foot in their mouth in the offseason. It's going to be something. That press conference, if they don't make the postseason, is going to be a doozy. A doozy. Justin, that might be it. I just hated that Cleveland team. I hated Cleveland and I hated Atlanta. Mainly, I was super jealous of Atlanta. Why do you guys get to be on TV every day and have 4 Cy Young pitchers every day? Why do you get that? Well, I'm stuck with Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar, in a pile of mud. In the National League, I'd probably go Brewers. I'll be rooting for the Dodgers. I want to see Shohei Ohtani win a championship. I want to see him win a championship. Brewers, Dodgers, Phillies, Mets, I guess. Diamondbacks, yeah, I like the Diamondbacks too. It'd be great to see a local guy like Corbin Carroll have a World Series again. Anyone but New York and Houston, fine by me. Polanco on roster in 2025. At this point, I don't think so. I think well, here's what I could see. I could see them picking up Polanco's team option and then trading him. Because I do think some teams would say, I hate to use this comp. It's kind of like the girlfriend with the bad boyfriend, that they can fix him. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to believe they can fix Jorge Polanco. So I think he'll be that. The more I think about it, I bet you they pick up the option and they trade him for prospects or maybe a different second baseman. Minnesota Milwaukee would be a fun World Series to me, and Rob Manfred would be miserable. And if we can get miserable Rob Manfred, that's what we should all be rooting for. I guess I do. Andrews like some cheap franchises. Oh, yeah. Brad, oh my gosh, that's such a good way to put it. The chair in his office should be the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones, constructing from all the swords he has fallen on from ownership over the years. Man, that's poetry. That's really good. And that's exactly it. He's that perfect shield, that perfect Iron Throne. I pick up the option on Polanco. He's by far not the worst option or biggest problem with the team. A full season of working with Edgar, and who's I don't think unlock. Yeah. I don't know. It's just been such a frustrating year, but I get it. I do get it. Who do I think is going to win it all? I think, and Anders and I have talked about this a little, and I keep going back and forth on it a little bit. I think the Phillies have the most complete roster. The Dodgers, up until all of these pitching injuries, and even with some of them, I was like, oh, they're still really good, and they are still really good. But it's just too much. The Glasnow injury just seems to be it's just hard to imagine that team winning postseason games with that staff, isn't it? Yeah, the Phillies have been, but they're picking it up a little bit right now. They've won 7 out of 10. And, Zach Wheeler is such a freaking stud. And then Aaron Nola has just been so good in the postseason. And, I'm remembering a little bit last year. I just don't know who else it is in the National League if it's not the Phillies right now. The Brewers, is that starting pitching going to hold up in a postseason series? I don't know. The Mets, it's possible. Now, I'll say this. A lot of the Mets' success is going to be determined by an MRI result tomorrow. Because I don't know if you guys saw, Francisco Lindor got pulled after one inning after missing Saturday with his back stuff. Yeah, the thing about Atlanta, too, is just the amount of injuries. And I joked about this on Twitter. Imagine me telling you that the Braves would be in contention because of the durability of Chris Sale. Chris Sale is the durable ace that has kept Atlanta in this thing. Crazy. Yeah, their offense, and it's so injured. It's so injured right now. The Padres could do it, and I'd like to see the Padres do it. Like, I know AJ Preller gets a lot of crap, and he's given up too much in some trades. There's no question about it. But I admire the chutzpah. And I would love to see, and they would never do it, I think. Imagine a World Series with those City Connects. October 18th, game 1 of the World Series. Padres versus Astros. Or I can't even say that. Padres versus Yankees. And you've got those Saved by the Bell, beautiful uniforms in the World Series. Yeah, Brian, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me either. Yeah, Justin, I think you have to give Brian Snitker a ton of credit. Because to lose the guys that they've lost and to be in it, some of that has to do with the National League being shaky, but so is the American League. I saw a stat the other day that through the first 50 games after the wild card or after the All-Star break, that Detroit had the best record at 6 games over 500. But I do think New York and Atlanta have both taken advantage of National League not having so many great teams. This was fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Would really appreciate you guys just hitting that old like button right before you leave. It's very easy. It helps me a lot. This was fun. We'll do another one soon. I love you guys. Molly Watt Monday tomorrow, 1:00. And yeah. See ya. Thanks again.